Mental illness is a bad thing, right?
Wrong.
So starting with hyperthymesia. Although it's ridiculously rare, only 62 people reported to have it as of 2021, it completely changed my perception of the world as it is. Because this disorder gives you the ability to recall any memory with ridiculous accuracy.
All right, Jimmy, what did you bring for show and tell? Yo, put that away. Right now.
Jim, what are you doing? Focus!
I can't get the memories to stop. So let's say you were to ask your German grandpa of hyperthymesia what he was doing on March 10, 1942 in Germany. Well, he'd probably lie, but in reality, he could tell you every detail to the point of even telling you the conversations they had. Bro, these people are the scum of the earth. Let's make this run clean and squad wipe them. Hey, Klaus, the Americans are coming. We gotta finish them off and go. But there is a downside. Oftentimes these people report their memories to interfere with their day-to-day life, and on top of that, relationships can struggle since they almost are never wrong when it comes to arguments about something that happened in the past.
Does this happen often?
All the time.
Which you know how people love to be right, which brings us to the next one. You said you were going out with your friends. Why didn't you come home last night?
I didn't say that. I said I was staying at my parents' for the night.
I have hyperthymesia. What are you even trying to pull here? Get out. Narcissistic personality disorder. You know how girls say the most important thing is confidence? Well, I guarantee these people have it, even to the extent I'd call it delusion of grandeur, which is the false belief that causes someone to believe that they have more power, wealth, or other traits than is true.
All right, the order is just one cheeseburger.
And you think I'ma make it? Ain't no way I'll stoop to that level.
Bro, that's literally the job you accepted.
I quit. And with all that risen confidence, you know what they're good at? Sales, which is one of the highest paying jobs out there. So if someone is rich, charismatic, and so sure of their own self-importance, with an uncanny ability to persuade, what do they become? This guy.
Hey, I'm looking for a TV.
Well, great. Would you be open-minded to our top-of-the-line 80-inch TVs?
I'm not sure that's in budget right now.
Well, what makes you say that?
I got rent coming up.
Well, great. We can finance it, and it's just in time for the Super Bowl. Your friends will love it. Oftentimes this disorder can cause people to be driven, creative, innovative, and resilient with a leniency towards perfectionism, which honestly are all traits I'd assume we would all love to have. So if this meme is relatable to you, then maybe try your hand at becoming a narcissist. I did it again, yet again, another easy day. Sir, you've been diagnosed with acquired savant syndrome. There are several ways to get it, although it's rare in all occasions, one being through traumatic brain injury or illness, where afterwards it will arise, but most times it's off of birth, and there's a heavy link between autism and savant syndrome. Less than 1% of normal people are savants, but 10% of people with autism are savants, so hey, there's a benefit in everything if you look for it. Ma'am, your son's diagnosis is autism.
No!
Okay. First of all, reacting to your child like that is messed up, and two, he's dope as can be. Look at the little bro. Even though their IQ is often of a low level, usually considered mentally disabled, they find themselves with extraordinary talents that would shock most people's understanding of what the human mind is capable of.
I haven't even finished breakfast and that boy ain't right. Damn it, Bobby, this just ain't right. You're 12 years old, you're a good son, you deserve better than this. No!
There are different types of savants with different skills. These skills include calendar calculations, meaning if you ask them how many days ago was March 12th of 1842, they could tell you. Then there's perfect pitch and music, meaning they can play things off of sound, or exceptional memory for specific types of information, such as sports statistics or historical facts.
He has the ability to read books 2 pages at once in roughly 3 seconds. Not just that, but he remembers everything he reads in them.
But there is a bit of a spectrum for this. There's the talented savants who demonstrate remarkable abilities, but they are only above average, but not necessarily at the level of the prodigious savants, who are pretty much the most talented in society, so hey, seeing the world differently isn't always a bad thing.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
So speaking of seeing the world differently, let's talk about a group that sees it completely differently. Psychotic disorders, which is often seen as one of the worst things to have, but let me cook for a second. So often when people start hearing voices and seeing hallucinations, they're labeled mentally ill, and that they need help, which they do, don't get me wrong, but I believe we have the approach all wrong. In modern society, these people are thrown on medications to treat the symptoms, but in more tribal contexts where spirituality and shamanism are embraced, these people are treated as oracles and shamans, and are mentored into those roles, which in turn leads the hallucinations to being neutral or positive instead of nightmarish like they are in modern cultures. Also, some people with schizophrenia say that the trouble really started after telling people they're hearing voices, so really, is it the disorder that's the problem, or is it how it's perceived and treated that's bad? Just a thought that I'm definitely not qualified to give advice on.
The mentally ill in prehistory. I am both the doctor and priest of my tribe. I commune with the great ancestors. And I make myself trip to see the future.
But speaking of tripping, we have hallucinogenic persisting perception disorder, which unfortunately isn't where you believe you are a cup of orange juice on the verge of spilling for all of eternity. It's really just having slight visual distortions, such as tracers. You might even see things breathing lightly or moving in a flowing type of sense. And in my opinion, the worst of it you might see is visual snow, which is like a light TV static over your vision. And hey, if you're into the trippy lifestyle, maybe you'd like to see the world like that.
Hey bro, are you tilting this room right now?
What are you on about?
If you are not tilting this room, neither am I.
You need to get checked ASAP, bruv.
But this isn't the only time you'll see stuff that actually isn't there. So we have synesthesia, which pretty much means you can see, sound, and possibly taste colors, which is the biggest superpower. Since you've ever had a blue flavored popsicle, you can now answer if it truly does taste blue. Alright bro, you gotta describe to me what color tastes like.
I mean, it tastes like the color.
What do you mean?
Bro, it's like trying to explain color to a blind person who just tastes blind. I don't know what to tell you.
But the ability to see sound can give remarkable abilities to create music. For example, Kanye West has synesthesia, and even if the dude might be a complete clown,
every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially
it doesn't take away from the fact that his music has some killer beats.
I have a condition called synesthesia, where I see sounds, I see them.
And speaking of crazy people, we have psychopathy. And the reason I say this one is because you ever heard the saying it's a dog-eat-dog world? Well, it's true, and these people thrive in it. This is characterized by a lack of remorse, being manipulative, goal-oriented, and lack emotional responses in stressful situations. And on top of that, being charismatic and confident. And so with all that and a willingness to step on others to reach the top, it's no wonder these people often find success. Alright, good stuff on that project, guys. Now get back to work.
Hey, just a heads up. I did all the work on this.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't hear from me though.
And it should be noticed that they often have calculated risk-taking tendencies, which, let's be honest, taking a lot of risk is better than taking none if you want to find success, since not taking risk usually looks like working a low-paying job your whole life. But hey, I suppose the failed risky attempt can land you there as well, but hey, at least one has a chance to escape the rat race, right? Huh, this seems worthwhile. Alright, let's do it. After all, I am simply a stick figure and not a professional. But one last disorder is a video game addiction. You can learn more about that one right here.